Welcome, Claire Reese, to the Introbiz Global Summit. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm great, thank you. It's a wonderful, sunny, snowy day here, and I'm really excited to be speaking to you today.
Oh, I know. I just think back of when we came over and launched Introbiz a year ago last January. A couple of months later, we'd have been in lockdown with COVID-19, you know?
I know it. Wham, bam. Thank you.
Yeah, I know these things happen. But yeah, thank you for coming on again. You know, great to have you on here as one of my wonderful franchisees. Really proud of what you're doing. So yeah, I'm just going to tell everybody a little bit about yourself. So Claire is the co-founder of Wild Spirit Dog Sledding over in Sweden. I know you had a company back in Wales, and you initially was an Introbiz member many years ago with Milestone Activities.
Yes,
but
you remember.
Then, yeah. So, but obviously since then you fell in love. Obviously met Richard, fell in love. He was going over to Sweden.
Yeah.
You followed him, and you've created this wonderful business together. And you've got over 70 dogs, I think now, haven't you? Is it huskies?
Yeah, 70 husky dogs and a fluffy one.
Indeed. I know. It was quite funny because obviously the year before I went over to Adam Strong's mastermind. Caught up with you because obviously I connected you to him initially so that you could connect with him, who lives in, he was living in Sweden at the time. And then when I came over and spoke about Introbiz and the franchise, we were like, and we just had a conversation, didn't we? And said, oh my God, you should do this, And I think it's quite bizarre how things happen, isn't it? And I never came over to Sweden that weekend to think, I'm going to go and sell a Swedish franchise. It was just through conversation, really, isn't it? So
it was, and I wasn't there to buy a franchise either. So it was just, it's like what we say sometimes is when you're putting yourself out there, isn't it? And we say this, and I think this is why I sort of like bought into your concept as well. You put yourself out there. You put, you're putting your feelers out there, because I was looking for a second business, and that happened, and it wasn't like, oh yeah, I want to do that. It wasn't as if it was something not thought about. It was something that I was looking for anyway. And you happened to say something, I happened to be in the right place, and it worked.
Yeah, I know, incredible. So, there's a lot of people that have, been challenged through COVID times. And obviously when you launched, we had an issue in the beginning because we thought we weren't going to, get through this like everybody else. So what do you think has been the catapult of the Introbiz brand in Sweden since COVID last year?
To be honest with you, for Introbiz Sweden, COVID has been a really good thing for us because of the online. We weren't doing the online meetings before, and with the online meetings that we have now, is that we are meeting people from all over Sweden, and not only all over Sweden, from globally. It's quite interesting to see when people say it's a small world, it is a small world, because I had somebody who was in Africa and they had a business sort of 2 streets away from one of my members who lived sort of not so far away from me. And all of a sudden they knew each other, and it just connected. And now they're doing business together. So it's just amazing how many people we can actually connect together now because of COVID, because of the online stuff. I have to be honest to say, I knew I was in for a hard task really with Introbiz Sweden, because I've got the whole of Sweden. Now Sweden is huge. It's 9 million inhabitants, and but the country, you could fit Great Britain into it 4 times. So, and there's 9 million people in London. So that's how sparse Sweden is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I was thinking, how on earth am I going to get everybody together? And what you find is the cities are spread away from each other. It's spread thin. So how I was going to do it, I was worried about it, and I knew I was in for a hard task. But then with the networking online, it's growing really well, and it's one of the best things for it, I think.
Yeah, amazing. And obviously Sweden is a beautiful country. And, when I came over there, I just couldn't believe it, and having been to Stockholm, which was a beautiful, vibrant city, really gorgeous and so super clean. And then coming to Aura, which was, obviously out in the sticks compared to Stockholm, but how beautiful was it, and it's just an incredible place. So obviously we're going to be doing events with the over in Sweden going forward. So just tell us a little bit about what that's going to look like, Claire. and obviously with your expo.
Yeah, what we're looking at as well, because we've got a few members that actually, the original plan was actually to launch in Stockholm, but because we've got members in Göteborg, then we're going to launch our second launch in Göteborg, and already we've got an ambassador, and that's what we're looking for, because that's, in my mind, that's how we need to plan it, is ambassadors in these different cities, because for one person or for our team then to actually go out to do the events, like Göteborg is 8 hours away from me, so to look at ambassadors that we're looking at launching in Göteborg. We're hoping maybe in December time. Let's see what happens with COVID. It's a little bit different happening in Sweden than it is in the UK. You're coming out of it. We're still uncertain right now. So we're hoping to launch in there as well. But what we're looking at is, well, in the future is doing, like you've got, is an online summit. Then, so we'll be doing an online summit. We're a little bit behind because it's a smaller community at the moment. We are growing the community. And as soon as we can grow a little bit bigger, then we'll be doing the online summits as well.
Yeah, definitely, which will be awesome for you, So just tell us a little bit about the culture of the Swedes, because they're amazing people. They're such lovely, really gorgeous people. The people that you've got in your community are amazing. Is there different culture attitudes in Sweden compared to the UK?
Yeah, it is different culture, and like with Welsh people, as soon as you see us, we're best friends straight away, aren't we? You've got our whole life story straight away. But what you find with the Swedish culture is that you have to really work hard to gain their trust, and this is where the philosophy of the sort of like the way that Introbiz actually sells itself actually works. It just takes a little bit longer, because I have to sort of work hard at getting to know people first, asking about them, trust, so they can build trust of me and our brand as well. And then it's what I've actually learned is that it's actually listening, and I've done a bit of research on empathetic listening as well, because it's easy to listen, but it's a different type of listening. So you can actually figure out what their business is, and so that they feel heard as well. And a lot of feedback I've had is inclusiveness. So we want them to feel inclusive and heard, and that's what the feedback is that's what they love about our network as well. They feel inclusive, they feel included, and they heard. And like with anything new, and especially this type of business as well, because it has to be sustainable. It's going to take time, and we're building relationships up with everybody. And for me, it's all about offering that service. So we're offering the service as well. So it will take time, but when we've got that trust there, it just blooms there, and it just goes there.
So am I right in saying then, obviously, once you've really built the relationship with the Swedish people, that they're friends for life and clients for life? Because
absolutely, you have got them 100%. Then once you've built the trust up, then they're friends for life, and you can't get rid of them then, which is amazing. And it works both ways, doesn't it? It works our way, it works the Welsh culture way, and it works the Swedish way. What I love about it as well is the international connections, and how the Swedish culture love to come into the UK networking, and vice versa. And we're learning about each other's culture and learning about each other's ways. January and February from the members asking for it, we've done a lot of learning and a lot of keynote speakers there, and we brought in different people from UK, and and we had Swedish businesses there giving keynote points as well, and it was just amazing how the both different cultures just married up and worked together. And people have done business, it's just fabulous.
It's so nice to see, and it's like, obviously we did an Introbiz event this morning, and then some of your members from Sweden were on, and it's incredible to see. And, what I love about it is when we all come together and then business gets done, you know, across the globe, you know, and who'd have thought that would have been, you know, would have been possible. You know, we could have done emails by introductions, but it's not quite the same. And I think the online world now is amazing. So what would you say in the last year that, you know, like you've been doing networking a long time, Claire, you know, you know, you're a natural networker, but what would you say that you've learned over the last year of being online as a networker compared to when you were in the physical world? Is there anything that you've learned from it?
Yeah, definitely. And it's that listening and it's that understanding and it's just building that trust. And I have to say, and I haven't really said this before, and at the very beginning of when I was an Introbiz member, you know, and I did, and this is what a lot of people make mistakes about. If they turn up to 1 or 2 meetings, think, oh, that doesn't work, you know, and they don't follow up. And it is, and I say it at all our meetings, the fortune is in the follow up with everybody. So important. And it's actually turning up and following up as well. Because people will remember you for the first 2 meetings. They won't remember who you are unless you just, I don't know, unless you're this superstar or something, unless you've really encroached on somebody's mind. But when you've got the big networking meetings like you have on a Friday, when you've got 40, 50 businesses on, to turn up once or twice, you're not going to be remembered. But if you're turning up week after week and a week, you know, then you're going to have people remembering you and people will want to help you, people will want to support you. So that's what I've learned as well. And it's listening, and it's listening and understanding, and not interrupting anybody as well. You know, it's really, really important that businesses or people are heard, and
given attention, isn't it? You know, and this is, you know, I say
it's important to me.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and like I know I always say, if you give people time, and you know, I talk about it in a lot of my keynote talks, is people want to belong to something or to someone, and if you can make someone feel special by listening to them, giving them attention, giving them time, because so many people are so busy. We all get so busy, of course, you know, and everyone's flurrying around. But at the end of the day, there's nothing more powerful, I don't think, is when you look someone in the eye and you ask lots of open-ended questions about them. Because let's be honest, business is about 2 things: is solving a problem or serving a need. And I've had that drilled into me by Sharon Lecter, my business mentor, you know.
I was listening to that last night on the other day with you and Carmelita as well, solving a problem to serve a need. Yeah,
and she said it as well, didn't she? And I know it, and that's what business is. And I think the more that you ask lots of questions about other people, you know, my mum used to say, and my daughter, oh, you're ever so nosy, mum. But you have to be nosy in business. You have to be nosy to ask lots of questions to see how you can help them. And I think the more questions that you ask, you're going to get a better picture in your mind, aren't you?
And then people remember you as well for helping and supporting them.
Yeah, they get it, and it's people by what you do for them at the end of the day, how you make them feel. You know, people buy feelings and people buy experiences, and if you create a really nice environment and a nice experience for your clients, they'll walk away with a smile. You know, that's really powerful. They'll stay with you, you know.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit. You've been busy during the pandemic. You're a co-author and a best-selling Amazon #1 bestseller. Tell us a little bit about that, Claire.
I am, and that was with you.
It was indeed.
And I think during the pandemic as well, it's been a bit of a learning curve as well for me, and sort of an investment in myself, and I feel everybody's done that. Lots of people have done that. Lots of people that I've come across anyway have just invested the time and the energy in themselves. And I joined the IWOW group, which is the Inspirational Women of the World. And it's because of you and Dawn as well, because I know you and I trust you. So I've joined you that network, and in that network, then we decided together 20 inspirational, amazing women decided to co-author a book, and it was fantastic, and it was lovely to actually get together. And the reason I did it, and the reason that that I did it was. It was hopefully to inspire somebody out there, because everybody's got a voice, and everybody's what somebody has to say needs to be heard. And I hope it just inspires somebody who just hasn't got that little bit of confidence, because I got to say my confidence has been knocked in the last 10 years, to build up their confidence and realize that they are important and invest in themselves. So I'm hoping that somebody will get something like that from this book. You know, it would be really, really nice if somebody who has read the book actually comes back. I don't know if you've had any feedback on.
Yeah, well, we did actually.
Whether it's actually helped somebody.
Nita Lawrence over in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, one of her clients read it and messaged her back and said, if somebody was about to commit suicide,
I remember that, yes,
they would find a reason not to by chapter 5.
Yeah.
You know, wow, how powerful was that? And I thought, do you know what? That is what I'm talking about. That is why we wanted to create it, so that we can make a difference to other people's lives for the good. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm hoping that's what's going to happen, you know, with Introbiz Sweden, is that what I'm finding, a lot of my clients are the ones who start up businesses or just struggling a little bit or don't know where to go. So I'm hoping that, you know, through that we can actually help them grow as well. You know, it's bigger businesses as well that we want to attract, but that just seems who we are attracting right now, is the ones who want to sort of connect with international businesses and are growing and need something. So
absolutely. Yeah. And just you know, obviously with networking, the other thing that I want to get across to people is when you build good relationships with people, referrals come. So do you just want to talk about that, Claire, of, you know, how people can grow their network through, you know, building their relationships with people, and then they pass them on to other people?
Well, it's like in your book, isn't it? It's got the tomato acronym: top of mind meets top opportunities. And in our network, you know, in Introbiz Sweden, and I know it happens in the UK as well, is that sometimes, because it's quite a small network as well, but it's very dynamic, and then everybody at the network will always say, and Christian is one of the best ones there, will always say, how can I help? How do I want to help?
Oh, he's such a lovely guy.
He's lovely, you know, and these are the type of people that we've got in our network, is that they always want to help and support other people. Now, because he has been like that, right, his sales have actually rocketed, because everybody will refer him on.
Absolutely.
We'll actually talk about him. And he doesn't sell anything. Sometimes he comes on, he doesn't pitch at all. You just come in, I've got nothing to say today, but who can I help today?
Oh, it's so nice. It's just the more people that you help, the more your business will grow anyway, naturally and organically. You know,
absolutely.
Because and I think coming from the mind of serving rather than selling is where it's at, don't you think?
Absolutely. And it's, you know, you know, people will sell if they're going in there for the hard sell, they are going to sell, but will they keep the retention? When you go into it with a service and to help people grow in, and so that people will remember you, so they'll always come back to you, then you grow in your retention then, and people will keep returning back, because like people like to buy from people that they trust.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So how important do you think networking is to grow a business?
Oh, well, I've done my research as well. It's 95% of people who actually have businesses from referrals. It's that word of mouth, isn't it? It's that referral. So it's extremely important, and it's important to turn up, to follow up as well, and
add value.
Add value, but also to invest in yourself. Because, and that's one thing about these online networking as well, is that they record it. So I have, and I don't like it. I really don't like listening to myself back recording, but you really I force myself, and I try and listen to what I've said and how I've said it, you know, and it's really important that when you listen back, and then you get, and like you did it as well when you first started networking, you asked for people's opinions of you, and you know, and to get that, so you can actually grow your you know, the way that you actually come across to people, because you want people to be drawn to you, don't you? Yeah. For whatever reason, and it's what I've learned as well, it's whatever reason, and everybody's got their own reason of how people will be drawn to them, whether they're a coach, whether they're a networker, or whatever. It's having your confidence to be that person, so people are drawn to you.
Absolutely. And, people buy people that they know, like, and trust, right?
Absolutely.
That's it. And it is so powerful.
Yeah. And people who's going to help them as well, because if they can know that they can rely on you to help them, so some of my members, they'll ring me up, I need a bit of advice, so, and I'm there for them to,
absolutely. That's right. It's incredible, isn't it? So what would you say, like, I've made so many mistakes in business over the years. What would you say is your biggest mistake to date, and what did you learn from it?
My biggest mistake is not to invest in myself at the beginning, and new businesses always do this, and we're still getting that. We still, they're still hitting these problems right now. Is, you may get funding, you may get investments, but when you do your business plans, make sure that you put at least 10 grand into your account to make sure you invest in yourself, because that 10 grand will save you 50 grand.
Yeah.
From all the mistakes you've actually made. So get a really good coach. Make sure you network, because that's so important as a new business, to network, because you're going to find people in your network that will help you, and you will find referrals, and you will find the person that you trust who can actually help you, because that's one of the things as well. Is when you just grab somebody who sounds good, you may not resonate with that person. You've wasted 2 grand.
Yeah, of course.
So that's what, if I was starting again, I would put that money aside to make sure that I invested in myself and my business at the very beginning. So important.
I think I agree with you there, because I took on a mentor, and I've got another one now, but I've got a couple of mentors actually for different reasons and different learning, because I think, there's certain people out there that you can learn from, and there's other people that you think, well, that's not for me at the moment, but then you go on another path and meet someone else that you need to pull in your weaknesses to help you along the way, But, at the end of the day, it's having good people around you. And I wish I had done that from day one, because I didn't do it from day one. And I appreciate it's issues for people with cash flow and things, What would you say is your biggest highlight today? Because I know you've been on the Kevin McCloud show, haven't you? So tell us a little bit about that. I know it's not with Introbiz, it was with Wild Spirit, but just
with the dog sledding. That was a brilliant highlight. We were on a documentary of 2 crazy Welsh people who actually moved to the mountains, because when Richard and I came to Sweden with 2 grand in our pocket, we had a few leaflets, and we started dog sledding business we had about 20 odd dogs then. And this is one thing that I would say.
Oh, now you've got like 3 times the amount.
I know. But this is one thing that I would say as well to people, is that get to know who you are, find out who you are, and have the courage to say yes to things, because that yes, you don't know where it can lead you. If you're like, one of the best games I would play is Monopoly, to find out your personality, to see if you're a yes person, because that's fabulous. But so what we did is that we were just doing a marketing ploy. We're trying to get things for free. And we put in, we just put in a crowdfunding application, and then that led to a Telegraph interview, which then led to Octon, then the TV production company, contacting us so that we could do a documentary, because we lived in a cabin with no water, no electricity for 5 years, and that's how we took our business. We've got an amazing story, and it's just But we've got an amazing story, and the highlight is actually moving to Sweden, setting up a dog sledding business, making that successful and sustainable right now, investing in myself, getting a second business with a wonderful franchisor. Oh, is that what I call you, franchise? Oh, yeah. And the story is still here. I am so lucky to have 2 lives, because I'm from Wales. I've still got a house in Wales, and I live in Sweden, and I've got my home here. Amazing. So we're not rich, but we are satisfactory rich. And we've got so many other projects, you know. Now we've got people, that's where Richard's just here now, and I'm just trying to say shush, shush, shush to him because he's coming in and out of I'm at the hotel at the moment. And we've got a film crew right here now because he's filming like a Beyond the Trees where we've got to talk about his life, make his head even bigger, you know. This is all about Richard, Beyond the Trees. This is where we've got to talk about his crazy wildlife sort of personality. You know what he's like.
That was incredible, and to be honest with you, Claire, you were so inspiring because to have lived in a cabin with no food, with no electric,
sometimes we didn't have no food.
No water, no electric, no TV, no Wi-Fi. You know, I told you many years ago. Oh my God, I don't know how you do that. I couldn't do it. So you
remember when it actually aired? You actually messaged me and you said, "Oh my God, lovely." But not for me.
I remember. I like the finer things in life, you know. But I mean, you know, you're so inspiring, Claire. You know, that must have been really challenging sometimes, you know, and mentally, that must have been really tough, you know. So you've actually got a book in you to do your own book. And I implore you and encourage you, you should do it because
it is in the goals. We got a lot of goals, and it is one of the goals. And that was the start of, you know, to be a co-author with you as well. Was the start of the you know, like the beginning then, and then we'll have another book after. But I've got so many plans and everything. But right now, what I'm doing is actually sitting down. There's so many projects going on and things. Sitting down now, and like we've got business mentors and focus on everything. And that's the other thing, you know, we've got our business mentors in Business Step Up, and you know, we're going to go through a 3-year plan. And that's the other thing is not just waffling through life as well. Is, you know, you have to sit up and you know, and start planning for the next. And when these things happen with like COVID, is that it's not a bad thing, but all of a sudden you're actually just thrown into a different direction, you know, and we all were thrown into this different direction, all these plans and things like that were going on. With COVID, you know, it's sort of saying well done. I can't. But it's about these sort of issues that, like COVID has thrown everybody in a different direction, and we've had to react as well. But and wow, look at the world and what's on social media right now, all the trainings, all the summits, all the plans and everything like that, and all you know, it's just a huge new world that we all have to try and find where we fit in here. You know, it's just been a whirlwind, but it's been amazing as well. It's been an amazing journey in the last 10 years.
Amazing. So what's next for Claire then? What's your next 3-year goals?
Well, my next 3 years at the moment, what we're planning on doing is, everybody thinks that I'm crazy. Even Richard thought I was crazy. I want to build a cabin at our dog, where the dog kennels are. We bought a load of land, and the plan is as well then is that the dog sledding is actually sustainable. Introbiz Sweden will be sustainable then, but we are going to develop a visitor centre at the dog kennel.
Awesome.
So I want to live there because I want to be there, because I'm out to the business right now with the dogs and I love being with the dogs. But when I'm doing all these other things, then I can't. So to have a house there would be amazing. Yeah. Awesome. And to a visitor centre as well. We've also got a new concept, but it's not. It's called Confidence Communication Queens, where I'm with Sarah Nystrom. So that's where we're going to build. It's not just about businesses, it's about all women to build their confidence, because that's something that's close to my heart, because my confidence was knocked and I didn't feel as if I had a voice, and I just want other women to have a voice and I want to help them build their confidence. So that's that concept as well. And support my husband with his Beyond the Trees as well. And what I want to do as well is look at retreats then for Introbiz Sweden, build Introbiz Sweden, get ambassadors in all the cities, and away to go, and then retire in 10 years' time.
Oh, awesome. Well, it's been amazing having you on, Claire. I always love spending time with you. Super proud of what you're doing. And I love the fact that Introbiz is over in Sweden. So thank you so much. Lovely to see you. Love you a lot.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.